All right. Overlord here.
Biggie AR.
Come here with some reviews. Gonna be reviewing Us today. I just recently saw it earlier this week, and I think you saw it Sunday?
Yeah, I saw it on Sunday.
Yeah.
FYI, if you haven't seen the movie,
spoiler.
Definitely gonna be spoilers. So you might wanna wait till after you watch the movie to watch this.
Definitely click away from this if you haven't seen the movie. I'm gonna let you go ahead because I think my review's gonna be a little bit longer than yours. So go ahead and give your feedback, and I'll give mine about it.
For me, I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. You know, just I like the way that the storyline went, and I like how even from the previews, it looks like it's just about the main family. Yeah. And it turns out to be more of like a whole world thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a cool way that he did that kind of. Because when I saw the preview, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be. Not that it was gonna be bad, but I thought it was gonna be focused simply around, the main characters, the little family. Yeah. So I was glad that it went another way, and there was other one, it went across to the whole world or whatever. But I can't lie, the end kind of fucked my mind a little bit. Yeah. Just because, like we talked about beforehand, it's a lot of open-ended questions at the end of the movie. You know.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching it, and I even told my buddy that I watched it, shout out Justin, that I don't understand why is it when that white family, when their tethers or whatever came, they killed them instantly. Yeah. No bullshitting. But then whenever the other one came, they were kind of like playing with it, and then towards the end it kind of explains why it was not an instant kill type thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. To me, it was like the main questions that I had.
So was your question answered or no?
No.
With the family?
I understand. I more understood it towards when they kind of explained it. But the few things that I don't understand is for the first part is, of course they switched when they were little or whatever, mm-hmm. And so the tether was the one that was living in real life. How did the tether end up picking up on all the English? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, she was pretty young when she was taken, so I mean, and
because I know they said it for a few years, she didn't talk at all. Yeah. But I don't kind of explaining how she learned fucking perfect English was a little confusing to me. You know what I'm saying? And kind of how the regular one that was in the tether spot or whatever, how that one kind of not forgot, but kind of regressed. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to think it was what 87.
86, I think.
That was 87.
87, yeah.
87. And it was so that's 32 years. So I mean, you can learn English in 32 years. If I had 32 years to learn Spanish, which I should have, I can learn Spanish pretty fluently.
Oh, you're about to be 32 now.
No, I'm not. You older than I am. We're talking about. As far as me, was that the?
No. Go ahead. No, but go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
Well, I don't know. As far as with the tether, it's just. I think I'm a train of thought.
But so I'll do it like this.
Yeah, just
anyway, so I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of stuff that kind of was a lot of curveballs. Jordan Peele definitely threw a lot of curveballs towards the end of the movie.
I know he was pitching.
Me neither. You know what I'm saying?
That boy was on deck.
He was pitching to himself apparently because he was hitting the shit out the park until he stepped on the mound. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, like I said, I think if the ending was more which I guess leads to the thing, there's more than likely going to be a second part to this movie.
I don't feel like he's into sequels. I'm not that he couldn't make a sequel out of it. I'm not a writer, so I couldn't be oh, there's no way for you to be able to do it. But as far as me, I don't see there being a sequel. Yeah. Sometimes a sequel doesn't need to be made. Sometimes you just leave it open to interpretation, I guess. Yeah, and for me, I don't see a sequel happening, and he doesn't really seem like the type to do a sequel to a horror movie or a sequel to a movie.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I also saw too online, just kind of trying to answer some of the questions, mm-hmm. And they said that apparently that I guess not apparently, but what they were people were kind of putting together, mm-hmm. was how the family in the Get Out movie, mm-hmm. the ones that was they were putting other white people into black people's bodies or whatever. Mm-hmm. Apparently they were thinking that kind of like ties into it.
I thought so too because like of the rabbits. Unless like
Yeah,
Jordan
the
Peele just really,
experiment. You know what I mean?
or not even that. Unless Jordan Peele just like really likes rabbits, like because you know, like at the beginning of Get
Yeah.
Out, you know, they had like that Run Rabbit Run
Yeah.
song playing, and then like next thing you know, when you're I guess down under in the tethered whatever zone, you know, in the sunken place type place, that you know they got all these rabbits running around. So I had like there's also like a correlation with those, but I didn't get what it was.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. Well, why don't you get into some of yours, and then maybe some of the questions that I still have, maybe you can answer them, and then as you go along with yours, we can.
With me, there was definitely I don't know. Like when I go to a movie, I usually like break it down all the way, and it's usually one of those sorts like, you know, it doesn't really pertain to this, like, or it's a movie, you know, kind of get over. But with me, I don't know, like I can't, you know, not have it answered. I feel so it bugs me, and as far as like Jordan Peele, like okay, so like go back, you know, I've always been like a big like Jordan Peele fan since he was like on Mad TV with like you know Keegan and all them. So
Yeah.
like when they got their show, I was like okay, so like my two favorite characters from Mad TV are getting their own show. Like this is dope, you know, and so. Keegan, Jordan kind of always like Keegan, you know, is more like I guess, like physically and like with physical comedy, he's funnier, you know, like he's more in your face about it. He's more animated, and then you know Jordan is more of you know I feel like the writer or you know director as you can see, and so like a lot of his stuff, you know, started to come out. So like yes, I was a big fan of theirs. And I even like I don't like a lot of people talk about it more like I like Keanu a lot. Yeah, I thought that was I didn't think I would like it. You know, like a movie about two guys trying to get a cat back. But like I actually like I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it was a really good movie. I thought it was funny. You know.
Yeah.
And so obviously Get Out was you know an amazing movie.
That was a real good movie.
I still have like you know debates with people about it. You know I still you know try to explain some things to people. You know about how the movie was, and so when this one came out, I don't feel like that I try to compare it to Get Out because I mean that's almost impossible. I
Yeah,
feel
of course.
to compare their two different genres of horror, you know, and so or two different categories of horror, I should say, and so there was really no comparing the two as far as that, but. Like I said, it left me with so many questions at the end. It's just like I don't know how, you know, or if they will be answered. And you know, sometimes art isn't always explained. Sometimes you just gotta like let it be what it is. But as far as like my questions, I was like, some of my questions were, they mentioned in the movie that the tethered were created to be able to make puppets out of you know people I guess who are on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, my one question was like, well, who are these people who created the tether?
Yeah.
You know, and who do they start with? You know, to create the tether? Was it like political figures? Was it, you know, musicians or whatever stuff like that? But it's like then if they created the tethered, and it was somehow like you know like their souls weren't tethered. It was just like their bodies, but. It never really showed where the tethered had control of the people on the surface. It was kind of the opposite way around.
Yeah.
And so, when the little girl wanders into the House of Mirrors, which for some reason leads down into the tethered place, which I didn't get what that was about. Like I get the whole you know find yourself and you actually find somebody who's you know a version of yourself. But, like, how long had that been there to where, you know, these people set it up to where they can go down there into that place to be able to control or, you know, to, I guess, make puppets of other people on the surface. But then it's like, if the people on the surface control them, like, and, you know, they meet in that one area, is it like some magical thing that if somebody from the surface goes underground, that then they become the tethered? Do you know what I mean? Because like at one point, after you find out that they switch places, over on the surface, she's dancing and doing all this stuff, and the real one underneath is mimicking what she's doing. But it's like, she wasn't the one that was being controlled originally. She was the one doing the controlling, and so it did make sense that an escalator ride changed that. Do you mean? You know what I mean? And so I didn't understand that. And then another thing is like, who is creating more tethered people, or how did they create a way that when somebody is born, that they instantly have a tether? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you can't make me believe that they created every single person when they were just trying to, like, if they're just trying to make puppets of certain people. So like I could get them making making tethered of like political figures, or like I said, musicians or something like that, somebody who has like influence, but every single person. And then like if they did create every single person, how is that regulated? And then
how are they going about doing
that? Like they abandoned it years and years ago, at least before 87, because there was like nothing going on with that. But it's like, was it? And it only said as puppets, but it didn't say if like they're using it for good or for bad. Do you know what I mean? Like a hammer. Like I can use a hammer to build something up, or I can use a hammer to kill somebody. It's like what purpose was their puppetry being used for? And for me, it didn't explain it. There's also a part where I was wondering about the different people. Like, how come with some people, their hairstyles are almost completely the same, but then others are different. Like the dad, what's her name, Addie or something like that. Whatever the main character's name is. Her tethered dad had the same haircut, and she had the same hairdo, but when she got older, her hair was cut. And it's like if they're tethered and they're bound to do the same things that other, or they had to do the same things that the person on the surface does. How come their hair isn't the same? And how come they're able to have different clothing, or the clothing that they do have that's the same? Where does that clothing come from? And how come they only eat raw dead rabbits? Like I was like, if they're born at the same time, and and at one point, Addie's talking about how they think the same way that they do. So it's like, do they have like the same memories? Like if they're like, how does that tethering work between their minds?
Between the minds of them.
Yeah, and so then it's like, if they do, I mean, obviously they had some kind of fire, because the son's face was burned. So obviously they have some access to fire. He knew how matches worked.
Well, what I actually heard about that was when I was, like I said, trying to answer some of the questions. Mm-hmm. It was seemed to believe that one of the times that they went down there, like on their vacation, mm-hmm. that the son had found that place before, and that he actually had been switched too. Because that's why, like towards the end of the movie, when they're in the ambulance and they're mm-hmm. kind of riding off, mm-hmm. you know how he kind of looks at the mom, the tethered mom, and he kind of like just puts his mask down and just like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, see,
because the only reason it makes sense to me was because whenever the little boy was going backwards into the fire, mm-hmm. the way that the tethered mom was kind of like not the tethered mom, but see, so much fucking shit that I get confused, because the tethered mom and the tethered brother that were the original boy and mom were the ones that were in the tether, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why whenever the son was going into the fire, the tethered mom was kind of like.
Well, it was the original Addie, but the half tethered, half human or version of the son, which I guess both of them were like half and half, but like I said, like original Addie and then like the tethered Addie. Yeah, the tethered Addie's son was down, and the original Addie was down there. Like she kidnapped him and then took him. But for me, I didn't feel like they were I feel like the son. I feel like the one that had like the
burnt face.
no the other one with like the werewolf mask or whatever it was. At first I thought it was gonna be like a ape mask for like M'Baku. That's what I thought it was at first. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's a little like a little slide in there. I like that. But you know the way he looked at the mom, like he was like because like if you notice like but when she killed one of the twins and she made like that noise or like that they were making, he was like, like this doesn't seem right, you know. And then like at the end he was like, and then like he kind of had that same like worried face like this, like she isn't who I feel who she is. And so like he put the mask on. I feel like um, when he put the mask on, he put the barrier between them, and was like, I don't trust her anymore. That's how I felt. I felt like, you know, like okay, you know, when I guess for me it was like, you know, like if like I kind of felt like with like with our moms, like with my mom, we know who she was. Like I get to my mom something that she'd be like, you didn't do that. That's not real. You know, like
Yeah, don't sound right.
like yeah, like that's not. I've known you for your entire life. Like, and so I guess when like he found out who his mom really was, you know, he didn't have that same face with her anymore. And like he put the mask on, and I was like, you know, now there's a disconnect between us, and that's how I felt it. That's all. Cause like, you know, especially like, you know, uh, uh, reading facial cues, especially like, you know, learning signs and stuff, like you're able to learn facial cues a little easier. And so the face he made was like, you know, I don't think you are who I felt like you were before. Like you don't seem real anymore to me. Like you seem fake now. And that's how I felt.
But nah. So another question that I have too is like, you know, since the tethers are like, they don't have them. You could tell that all their minds are not there. You know, by the way. So when the little girl, when the original Addie was left down, and she was handcuffed to the bed, how did the handcuffs come off?
Yeah, I thought it was like who released her, you know, like, and then how come the other one wasn't like, you know, stuck in a spot? You know, like yeah, it's hard to tell again who's actually controlling who in those situations. So it's like, what is it? What part of them is actually, or which part is actually being controlled? Like, is it are they just like they think they're being controlled, but not actually? They're just like going through the motion, like you said, their minds aren't really there, so they're just kind of like going through it, or is like something like that's actually taking place? Because like at one point, you know, the real Addie was like, you know, we were born different, but it didn't explain why they were quote unquote born different, and she kept making it seem like she was born down there, and you know she, you know, saw God and did this and whatever. But it's like and also I get, you know, you've been down there for over like 30 years, so I guess it feels like, you know, you've been there for a while, you know, and so. I guess after a while your mind could warp itself into thinking that you were born there, but you know, for you to still have so much memories, like, oh, you know, you could have taken me with you, type of thing, or whatever, you know, and it's like what really is, you know, the point of her doing it, and I don't know if it's just the shirt, which is why or the last thing she saw being, you know, hands across America, which is why she did it, but then like you said at the end, like why was that their big thing? And like if they're going through and killing everybody anyway, you know, why even have that happen? You know what I mean? Why not, like you're making a statement, but it's like if you're gonna kill everybody anyway, I'm gonna make a statement and kill everybody, but you know you killed most people to take their place to do it anyway, you know, and then why not just come up and just live amongst us? You know what I mean? Like if it's so easy for you to come out of the sewers or out of the tunnels or whatever, like it's not like they're being held there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then who's making all these beds for everybody? Are they making the beds for themselves? You know, like it was for me. It was too much. It was too many questions or too much that was unanswered for me. That didn't make sense to why that they were still there.
Yeah. Well, one other thing is too is like, like you said, with the whole Hands Across America thing or whatever, it was meant to be like that whole campaign thing or whatever was meant to be like for the positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know why in the movie it was made to be like an evil thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now where'd they get all the scissors from?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
The gloves and the jumpsuits.
No, but it's like this too though. Like, how long are they gonna stand there?
Yeah.
Stretched out.
Wait, and like some of them were like underwater.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, I don't know.
And like I said, and it's like, what if somebody moves, like, and like the tunnels are connected to where they're going? Like, do they come out? And that might be thinking about is like do they come out from the tunnels and then like walk to wherever that person is to go back into a tunnel? And if so, is that where like the concept of like you have a doppelganger comes in? And then I was like, well, maybe that's why, and like, the hair being different, it's like, oh, you have a doppelganger, but he didn't have dreads, or he didn't have, long hair or something like that. But I don't understand why some did and some didn't.
And I was thinking that everybody died, but I mean, obviously the dad and the sister and the brother were still alive or whatever. We know the tethered mom was when I was out there, but those people flying helicopters. I doubt that the tethers know how to fly helicopters. You know what I mean?
Well, like obviously, there were some people who didn't die because there was like news reporting still going on. People still speaking English, and that click click clock, whatever the little language, whatever the little language that they were speaking. So like I said, they were trying to make a statement. So, but it's like, did you have to kill your tether or the real version of yourself before you could get in line? Because like, if you notice, like the dude who's holding Jeremiah 11:11, he was standing. He was the first one to stand there, and that's the first one that you see, dead.
Dead, yeah.
And then my thing was like, if the tethered addict didn't want to go back to, that section, that's the boardwalk or the beach or whatever, why not move away from there? You know what I mean? Like, and it's like I don't feel like it wasn't. It felt like it was like her family's beach house, and not like her husband bought the beach house. You know, because like it had a bunch of her old stuff there, and had the mirrors from when she was young and stuff. So it's like, they had the house. Why not sell the house? Why not move away? Why not be away from the tethered? And then it gets to a point where it's like, could she move away? Was she able to do it? If she wasn't able to do it, who's really in control of what's going on? And that's what and for me, like the whole find out she's not who we think she is was kind of given away kind of early for me. Like it was like, okay, I can see what it is. It gave me this whole like Treehouse of Horror feel where Bart's really like the evil twin.
Yeah.
I felt that like early on. I was like, okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going to happen. Especially me being as big as a movie buff as I am, especially in horror. Like I watch a lot of horror movies. Some are not as good as others, obviously, but I still kind of watch them. It's just I think the last thing I watched was like Slender Man. I was like the disappointed the whole time, but like I still like watched it. But yeah, so like just to have that, and it's like told to me so early, because like obviously she knew, like you could tell who she was because like she was able to find that door so easily
and her way down to
so like it was like oh, she's like been there before. But I don't remember like in the original where Tethered Eddie's going up, like did she walk up the escalator as it was going down? Because there's only one escalator. It was going down. It was going down the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And so I was like, did she walk up? Because like they said she's only gone 15 minutes. Well, I doubt it was really 15 minutes.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way she was.
Because it feels like it took the Tethered Addy 15 minutes to get to the.
It would take me an hour to walk up or down, or going down escalators. So I don't, and like this is somebody who's never seen it before and doesn't really know how it works, And again, how was it so easy for her to find it? Even though so you told me like that's the only person that's ever walked into that hall of mirrors. There's no way.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, I know we feel like we keep coming back to the same questions, but at the end of the day, it's just the never ending questions with this, because if everybody else was so kind of like, as far as all the other tethers were so far behind, like how was the Addy tether so far advanced that she knew to which way to go, where to go,
Right.
how to get up the escalators and all that, like how, and if that was the case, why wasn't everybody that came across something like that doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Going back to them being, able to like get have clothes. Like, did you notice where like it was going through, I guess, the motions of her like winning the prizes and stuff, and like the only prize that was there was the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of the toys were there. So like, what if she wanted something different? Would that like magically appear? And then why was like her Thriller shirt, like it wasn't. It's almost like it was like inside out, like it was like it was like the way it looked. It was screened like this, but it's almost like the shirt was like a reverse of itself. But like when she got home,
It was regular.
was it right? No, when she took it off and like traded it, but underneath she would have had a Hands Across America shirt. So was that Hands Across America shirt inside out? Or faded or whatever, and not the same as the one that the real Addie had. Like, and why wouldn't her parents have noticed? Like, why isn't your shirt the same as when we put it on? Because I know good and well, especially, you have a little sister, I have a little sister. So like when our moms dressed them, they knew what they put on them.
Yeah, of course.
So like if you came back and your shirt is 100% different than when you left, my mind's going through, was she raped or who stole her shirt and gave her this bum version of the shirt that I gave her? Where's her real shirt at? It's like, it doesn't make sense for that. They wouldn't have noticed those things. As far as her not talking and that whole thing, it's like, yeah, I get it. Traumatized, something like that. So I get why you either wouldn't talk, and that's where it gets to the thing where it's like, maybe she went through like speech class. Maybe she like had to be retaught how to speak and how to read and stuff like that. I can get that part. But as far as like, the clothing and stuff was like, or another thing is like, when someone gets their hair cut, again, where do the scissors come from? And it's like, if they do cut their hair or twist or, do whatever to the hair, are they just like sitting there on the ground, or are they sitting up and doing it, actually doing it? Like, again, like is the skill transferred? Like it's just this whole tethering system is weird for me, and was actually transferred and what isn't. I guess that's my whole thing. I don't know. It left me a lot to wonder about. I don't know.
Yeah. So on a 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Ooh, like I enjoyed it, but because it left me with so many answers, I'd hate to say it, but like maybe like a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be generous and give it like a 6.5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm in the same ballpark. Because I think if he would have really nailed the ending, it would have been just as good as Get Out was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I think I still would have been left with some questions. Like, and again, like, I hate to say that everything has to be, because I'm big on like not everything has to be completely explained or whatever. But I guess for there to be so many like things that were left open, or so many holes in certain things, that I guess that's what threw me off about it, like what made it not really hit for me. But a lot, like I said, like visuals and all that were good. It was funny, like what's his name, Winston or whatever.
Yeah, Winston.
Winston, like I think he played a good like corny dad. I feel like that was like I felt Oh Boy in Get Out was a version of Jordan, because he
the main character.
Yeah, because he's like I think he said he's like half white, and his wife is white, so like I felt like that's how he navigated through situations and stuff like that, where it's like, I'm the only black person in the whole entire party full of white people, and I've kind of been there like that token black guy in some places, where like you get asked all these questions about things, like now I have to talk about, I have to explain my entire race to some people or something like that, or I explain all my culture, and then I kind of felt like, because I kind of felt like Jordan also was like, Winston's character, like the corny dad, like type of thing, like tries to be, cool, but you're not cool type of thing. I kind of felt like that was also kind of him coming through. So I kind of like how it was like I felt like it was kind of personal, but the characters were all well done. There was just the whole thing about some of the action and some of the things that are going on where it didn't hit for me. That was just it for me.
Yeah. Oh no, but I guess I advise everybody to go check it out.
Yeah, definitely view it. Like, don't let us knock your experience on it. A lot of people don't see the same things other people see. So you may think it's a 10. I don't think it's a complete miss. But I might view it one more time. Knowing what I know now and seeing if some things are answered. But I usually have good recall memory on with movies. So I'm like, okay, this was answered. This wasn't answered. This wasn't answered. So there's a few things that weren't answered for me that I can think of now. But I still probably need another view of it to see if those are answered or not. But after that, I really don't see myself watching it again. Like with Get Out, I can watch Get Out 100 times. I can even watch Keanu a few times, and and still have the same feelings as I did the first time. But this one, I probably, like I said, one more time, and I really don't see myself watching it again. Like, it just wasn't it for me. But I am excited to see him host Twilight Zone, though. I feel like he would do amazing at Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So definitely check the movie out. Leave us a comment on what you think, or if you can answer some of our questions for us that we had on here, definitely leave those. And we'll try to respond to as many as we can.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,
share,
hit the little bell.
Ring the bell.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Follow us on our social medias.
Hey.
Those are always going to be in the description box. You feel me?
Definitely.
We
got another video dropping. So
yeah, we're going to be dropping at least 5 to 6 times a week. So just be on the lookout for
us
for the videos. You feel me?
Yeah. So we out. This is the Overlord here.
Biggie AR.
And we out.
Peace.
See you later.